Guys, hope y'all are doing good. I just wanted to come on here and talk about a show which I loved when I was a kid. The show's called Martin Mystery. I'm hoping y'all know that, I hope this just came on your YouTube feed or whatever. Y'all saw the name, y'all saw the thumbnail, you're like, I remember this show, and you clicked on this because I want to find people who know the show, who like the show, just so I can have someone to talk about the show with, because this is something that is super underrated. For some reason, a lot of my friends do not just remember the show, they never watch the show. I have no one to talk about this about, but this is a good fucking show. One of the shows that's definitely ahead of its time. Quick rundown. You had three main characters, right? You had Martin Mystery, the main guy, the poster boy, Diana Lombard, and Java the Caveman. Martin Mystery was like the funny-go-lucky guy, main character, rule breaker, slacker. Again, all three, Diana, Martin, are high school students. Java is a caveman, which they actually found on one of their adventures, but they decided to let him join the squad just because he was a nice guy. He had a good heart. He was dumb as a bag of rocks, but he was a good guy. So they let him join the team, and then he kind of acts like the muscle. But yeah, Martin, Diana, they're step siblings. Don't be dirty now, but they're step siblings who are both high school students. They go to like a private or boarding school or whatever, high school. Martin, again, slacker, doesn't really go to school, doesn't really study, just kind of plays video games, flirts with girls, gets turned down a lot. But also like super likable character, right? He wasn't a douchebag or anything. He was a super likable character. Diana, again, as with many cartoon tropes of the time, was sibling, where kind of like the flip of the coin with Martin, where Martin is like a slacker, fooled around, funny, flirts with everybody. Diana is more follow the rules, straight A student, take studying more seriously, is the more strict, right? Martin is more let loose, carefree, whereas Diana is more strict, right? And obviously with like a lot of other tropes with siblings, they bicker, they fight, whatever, but at the end of the day, they always got each other's back. That comes up in episodes, whatever. But the characters, like, again, my explanations are just quick rundowns. They don't do it justice, but the characters are very well designed, right? They're all very likable. They all work very well with each other. They all have weaknesses, but like the other characters cover their weaknesses. Like, it's very good, right? The characters are definitely one of the best parts of the show. Another very good part of the show is the actual premise. So basically, these are, again, high school students, right? So the episode usually opens up with whatever high school issue they have, like, I have a test I didn't study for, or I slept in, or I have a guy problems, girl problems, whatever. And then they will, like, a couple minutes into the show, they'll be notified, okay, there's a mystery they need to do, right? So basically how it works, they're high school students, but they also work for a secret agency called the Center, where they basically have to solve any, like, mysteries, right? Which could be like monsters or like bizarre happenings, whatever they need to investigate, which is a kind of like the main part of the show, right? Like, the interesting fact is that they're monsters, or like there's phenomena they had to solve. Basically, whatever, they get notified this mystery, they go down, they meet with the boss, which is called Mom, and Billy, which is like the alien secretary. Billy, quick rundown, he's like also a pretty common character. He's in every episode, I'm pretty sure. He's an alien that looks up to Martin, right? So he's a bit more naive, but he looks up to Martin. Martin is like his idol, so he tries to follow his lead. Mom, who's like the boss, which again, weird name. I don't know why she's named Mom, but Mom is the one that is, again, hard-headed, super strict. She's the boss, right? No bullshit. She's very straight to the point. Does not play any games. She kind of gives a rundown of what the situation is, right? So she'll be like, okay, today there's like a werewolf, or I'm pretty sure they don't, like, she doesn't say specifically what the situation is, but she'll be like, oh, there's been a lot of dead animals in this part of the city or whatever, so go there. And then they'll go there, and then they'll do investigation. They'll be like, oh, it's a werewolf, and then they'll try to figure out how to beat the werewolf. It's very, very interesting because every episode is different, because every monster is usually a cryptid, in the sense that it's not like some made up fictitious monster just for the episode, but like it's actually known things. Like, for example, there's one episode with garden gnomes who actually are alive and they're evil. right? There's also episodes with like aliens or werewolf or vampire or mummies, right? But there's also other episodes which are like not just monsters, but it's more like the unknown. For example, there's one episode where like every time people went to sleep, their teeth would fall out or their hair would fall out, and then it was because like there was some monster who would affect people in their sleep. And then there was also like another episode where like it was a resort where people would just go missing. Come to find out, there was like an underground cult, right? The people who worked at the resort were like cult people that were sacrificing people to some monster or whatever under the island. Every episode is very different. Again, that's one of the reasons why the episodes were so good, is because the characters, again, super likable, super fun, but also the premise where like every episode was a different monster who had their own different lore, who had their own different ways to defeat them. Every episode, like the characters had to realize what the monster was, and then they had to devise a specific way to beat them. It wasn't just one solution every episode. Every episode had a specific way to beat the specific monster, which again made every episode unique, which is why we always wanted to watch the next episode, whatever. Again, this explanation of the show was very, very, very bare bones. It does not do the show justice at all. If you want to get a good understanding of the show, just watch a couple episodes. I'm pretty sure they're all on YouTube. Just search up Martin Mystery full episodes. They should come up. Just watch a couple, and you'll understand the appeal, right? Just like the characters, the jokes, the humor, the vibe of the show, even the animation style is very based on like cartoons. It's like a cartoonish style. Martin Mystery as like the main character, super likable character, right? Like again, the show was obviously aimed at a lot of boys, boys who are like 5 to 10 years old. So Martin Mystery obviously appeals to those characters. Where like, oh, hopefully we grew up into that type of guy, right? Who's like cool, gets a job done, flirts with every girl, gets turned down, but he flirts with every girl. You know, a cool character. He was cool. And then obviously like the other characters, even though if they're not as likable, like Diana, she was not as likable because again she was like the boring, follow the rules, straight A student. But she had her moments as well, right? So she was also very likable, Java likable. Every character was good. Every character played their role to perfection. The humor is always super good. The jokes always hit. Still hold up to the day. Like I still go back and sometimes just watch a couple episodes here and there when I'm bored. The jokes still hold up, right? For a lot of cartoons, like at the time was cool, but when you try to rewatch it now, it doesn't hit as much. It's not as good as you remembered. The show is still pretty good. So I definitely recommend, if y'all want to, just go ahead and watch a couple episodes. And again, I'm hoping the people who are watching this video right now have watched the show and they like it, hopefully. Drop a comment down below. Let me know, did you watch the show? Did you like it? What was your favorite episode? What was your favorite monster? Funny jokes from the show? Just converse. I want to talk to people about the show because I have no one to talk about it with. And this is a good show. One of my favorites of all time, like I said. So I want people who also like the show so I can talk about it. But yeah, the show was like, from my experience, like from what I remember, it was cut pretty short. I think like it aired from 2003 to like 2006 or 7 or something like that. I think it was canceled for low ratings, which sucks. And then like later, the successor, I guess, was like Totally Spies, which I didn't really watch. But yeah, man, Martin Mystery, like the show, like I'm trying to feel like a one sentence explanation. Like I would say the show exudes core like early 2000s swag. You know what I mean? That's a pretty corny way to say it, but yeah, core 2000s swag. The characters, the animation style, the jokes, the humor, the monsters. This show was, again, very hard to find any weak points. Everything in the show was interesting. Like no parts was I bored of an episode. Like every part of the episode was good. But yeah, man, if y'all clicked on this video, take the time to watch it, I appreciate you a lot. Hopefully y'all could drop a like, drop a sub. I want to keep doing this. Chatting, yapping about shows, TV, whatever I want to watch. Just anything, right? Just yap about shit. And hopefully y'all appreciate it. Y'all like it. Y'all can definitely chime in the comments below. Let me know. And yeah, man, that's about it for now. I'll see y'all in the next one. See ya.